Top Gun, but with AI, and mech fighter hybrids, reckless fighter pilots. What more could you ask for in this Japanese anime from 1995? And an AI seductress as well. Join us for our annual New Year special with our special guests Tyler and Ken. This is the Unsung Cinematics Podcast, where we review some of the best kept secrets in TV and film. Your hosts, Stuart and Rostislav, present you with a misunderstood movie to see if it deserves the title of being unsung. Hello, listeners. We are here at our New Year's special. This is episode 66 of our full-length episode, and we're recording here roughly at the end of the 2025. I have Ken, Rosto, and Tyler.
Hello, everyone. Best of the season.
Thank you for joining us, listeners, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thanks, everyone. Hello, Taylor. Hello, Stu. Hello, Ken.
Hello.
What a wonderful day it was today. We had some decent weather for a change.
Nice.
Yeah, so we had our movie is called Macross Plus. It's actually a 4-part television series, anime obviously, but we watched the movie edition of it, which has a few cuts to it.
It was edited into one feature
film. Yeah.
Yep.
So it was from 1995, I believe.
I believe it's a kind of like a compilation of several episodes, right? Like put together basically to one long piece.
It was they re-edited the original 4 episodes into one theatrical feature.
There's a little bit of original footage as well.
Oh, okay.
It's good to know that.
Here we go.
Yeah, so we have this film. Maybe I'll get through some of the specs here. So it's set in roughly 2040. I think that's what was actually literally mentioned in the film.
It was on one of the subtitles. Yeah.
Subtitles. Yeah. It runs an hour and 55 minutes long, which is a little long because it was literally 4 episodes. They had to fill in the time slots, I guess, on TV. It received a 7.5 on IMDb, and we don't have a Metascore available.
No, there is probably too little of critics. So as long as there isn't certain, number of critics, it doesn't give you the Metascore. As much as I saw, there's only 3 written reviews. How many people? 809 people actually rated this movie. So
yeah,
it seems like it's kind of unknown, I guess, or which is very strange because the series itself are very popular throughout the anime world. So I kind of wonder why this, let's call it movie, it's not so popular.
Before the podcast began, myself, Ken, and Stuart were looking on Amazon to see if we could purchase the DVD or Blu-ray, and we found some prices ranging up to $1,000, which might be a little bit of a deterrent for people looking for the physical media. There might be a little bit of a backstory. I did hear that there was a lawsuit about distribution rights.
Right,
set back its distribution outside of Japan, for 30 years now, or more or less.
Yeah. I think that had to do with Harmony Gold actually having the rights to Macross. Of course, Harmony Gold is the production company that turned the original Macross series into Robotech in the mid 1980s. For American audiences, and I think they were kind of protective of the rights around the whole Macross franchise.
In any case, it seems like it's a worthy candidate for a podcast about unsung cinema.
Well, I think Disney Plus recently acquired the whole Macross series for streaming, so perhaps we'll be hearing more about it in the future.
Mm.
And I think there was supposed to be a live action Robotech movie being made by the director of the Flash and the It movies.
But not Hollywood.
Well, I haven't heard much about it since, so I think they may have dropped
Ghost in the Shell and Cowboy Bebop. I do not look forward to what damage they could inflict on Macross Plus.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard much about it since, so.
Well, maybe Tyler could tell us a little bit about the director and the actors' names so I don't butcher them.
Okay, so let me get my notes. We have the director and producer is Shōji Kawamori, Yuji Moriyama, and Shinichiro Watanabe. And of these, I know the director, who is Shinichiro Watanabe. He is also known for the Cowboy Bebop series, including the movie, Knocking on Heaven's Door. And a bunch of other stuff as well. I think he collaborated with the directors of the Matrix movies to make some.
I think he did a segment of the Animatrix anthology show movie that came out some years ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
And as for the voice actors, let me look. We have as Isamu, Elva Dyson, Takumi Yamazaki for Guld, Goa Bowman, Unsho Ishizuka, Myung Lon, Rika Fukami, Lucy McMillan, Megumi Hayashibara, and for the AI, Sharon Apple, Mako Hyodo. And there were a number of other actors as well. And I can say I don't know any of these voice actors because I don't follow voice actors. Maybe I should. And one more mention, the soundtrack, most of the music and the scoring was done by somebody called Yoko Kanno, who is very famous for doing anime soundtracks.
Oh,
she does good work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the music. I thought the music was pretty atmospheric at points, like especially the Sharon Apple songs.
Mm.
It sounded very 90s alternative and stuff like that.
It was a strength.
Yeah, I thought so.
So this film was basically a hybrid between, let's say, Top Gun, Transformers, and I don't know, some other AI flick, I would say. Can't recall any offhand that were around the same time as this, but
it really fits in between genres. I agree. You could even call it a romance. I hate to admit it. I wouldn't have chosen a romance movie otherwise.
I think that's always been a part of Macross. I think even in the original series, there were some romantic elements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll have to defer to you, Ken. For myself, I haven't actually seen very much of the original Macross, and very much, I mean none.
Oh, wow. Okay. Surprise, surprise.
It's a point. Like, how much do you need to know coming into this movie? And the answer is probably not very much, but you might be wondering about some elements, and Rasto's about to join in now.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to mention Yoko Kanno. I'm a big fan of, even though I am not big fan of anime, but I am big fan of this Yoko Kanno because she's doing this really fast jazz music, and her band, huge. I mean, there's lots of horns, sax, huge band, and she's so alive. I mean, I saw some videos on YouTube with her when she's conducting this huge, band, and she's very alive, and is really, really good musician. My favorite, I think it's called No More Biscuit, Bad Dog, No More Biscuit. So if you guys want to play it, you will understand her style. So I was really excited actually seeing this lady doing music for this movie. So that was one plus for me. And I also want to mention that I never seen any of those original series. So I am having completely different view comparing to you guys. And last thing I want to say, I mean, only in this category, that it is actually, I think it was quite prevalent that there was this love triangle, between two pilots, and one.
Oh yeah.
Myung is the lady. They were actually fighting. There was this tension between those two. So I think you're right that it is actually a romantic drama, I would say. I mean, with some military elements.
Yeah.
Also, I think Stu in his intro he said something about hybrid jets.
Yep.
Well, you know what? I was listening to some military dude comparing those fighting jets with the real ones, and they were quite the same, and he said it's like with just few details are maybe different. Of course, jets cannot change the shape or something, that's too far ahead, but otherwise
apparently, sorry, I'm just going to jump in. Apparently I don't remember which jet it was exactly, but apparently one of the jets in the film was an inspiration for a future Japanese military or maybe a UN jet.
Cool.
So
Wow. So if the listeners were under the impression this was just an animated movie about giant robots beating each other up and wanted to give it a pass, I'd recommend that they consider a bit more deeply, because there's a lot of stuff going on in this movie.
Oh yes, it's definitely. Well, I believe Tyler picked this film simply because of the AI element in it, which was not so apparent in the first third of the film, but it started to become more and more part of the plot as it went on.
The plot works on different levels, right? At the very surface level, it's Top Gun, but an animated version. Two fighter jocks are kind of fighting it out to see who's the best pilot and who gets the girl. Underneath that, there's the story about kind of malevolent AI trying to take over society. And underneath that, there's something more again, which is like the internal struggles people face with like conflicting impulses or psychological needs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Talking about the technology for a moment here. Now, it's interesting. Basically, any film or TV series, when they try to go into the future with the technology, they usually miss the mark by a very far margin, to tell you the truth. Now, I felt they did less of that in this film. However, I mean, 2040 being not that far off from where we are today, I don't think we're going to see Transformer-style jets anytime soon, but that could be more because our planet is rapidly decaying rather than progressing. Now, if you were to take the time this film was made and progressed on that social timeline in a consistent manner, we may actually would have had these transforming robots or jets by 2040. However, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, just like a comment, like I don't know if you guys remember back in '80s, very often you could see these pictures like how the world would be in 2000, right? Like
right.
You could see some flying cars and all kinds of weird things, right? And we were just kind of imagining like how old we will be, and will we see these cars and everything else. But I mean, AI is now kind of unhinged technology, and we don't know where it's gonna end up. I'm not talking about Terminator or something, but still, like considering this show is from beginning 95. Of 90s or 95. I mean, they pretty much. I mean, many of those things are pretty real. I mean, not like jets changing shape. I mean, maybe in Area 51 or something, but otherwise we are pretty much there. I mean, even that AI. There is this quadrant kind of machine. I mean, now you can buy those Siri
enabled sex dolls.
Personal.
Just get it out. Just get it out.
Yeah. No, you have these personal assistants.
Yeah,
which can be also doing all kinds of stuff. But we are not really far off, right?
No, I mean, we're already there. I mean, AI is already being used in social media and all these other areas of society to kind of control the masses and to sort of, I would say, make the society more docile and more like thought control. It's a form of thought control in a way.
Yeah, keep the masses happy, I guess.
Yeah, I thought the movie was topical, and I think anyone that's ever been frustrated by AI will probably feel some vicarious pleasure when one of the main characters, Isamu, bangs his head into a computer screen until the AI goes away.
That was kind of a surprise, yeah.
And is it a positive view on AI? Perhaps not. At the beginning of the movie, the AI with glowing red eye surveys a crowd while evil music plays in the background. This kind of gives you a sense of where the movie might be going. It kind of continues in that general vein.
Actually, there was something else I wanted to mention about this film, how we were talking about it's sort of predicting stuff in terms of the rise of AI. I don't know have you guys ever heard of something called the Las Vegas Sphere?
No.
It's like if you look on YouTube, you can find videos of this thing. It's like a giant dome. I don't know how many people it seats, but it seats a lot. But it seems like the stadium where the Sharon Apple, the AI construct, performs her concerts for everyone sitting enraptured. It's a lot like this Las Vegas Sphere.
Oh, cool.
Because U2 actually performed there. And they had some sort of big light show on the back. It's sort of like shaped like an actual sphere, and the people are the seating is staggered, and it's kind of a steep angle too. But like the front of it is the dome screen, and it kind of surrounds you. It kind of envelops you with the imagery.
The immersive experience.
Very immersive, yeah. And there's been DJ sets played there with background graphics that are just unbelievable to see, even just on YouTube. I can't imagine what living through it would be like. And I was kind of thinking maybe this was inspired. The design of this was inspired by that AI stadium.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously they don't have AI apparitions like Sharon Apple floating amongst the audience and interacting with people as yet. But
well, this movie isn't that well known, but I feel that it may have influenced not only that, but other aspects of popular culture as well. So
sure, yeah.
Future planet called Eden with these like funky pterodactyls flying around. When I saw the huge one take flight in this animation, I thought, Toruk Makto, Avatar, James Cameron, you watched this before you put it all together.
Maybe.
Well, there's one thing keeping AI back right now, and that is the fact we don't have smattering of satellites up in orbit that are able to project semi-realistic projections back to the Earth. But maybe that's coming. By 2040, we might have that technology, considering how many
could well
Elon Musk and Amazon are starting to put up there. Maybe that'll become a thing.
Well, it's been on a bell curve, really. I mean, you never know.
Some of the score was done with Israeli orchestra, symphonic orchestra, and another part was with the Prague symphonic orchestra. So just some details from the music score.
That goes to show Yoko Kanno's range. She often falls back on kind of jazzy music or electronica or other things, but the orchestral scores work well as well.
So since we're getting into directing now, let's talk some more about the music. I'm just going to mention some of the music for me was kind of a sore point. I mentioned this, I think, to Ken on the...
I think you did, yeah.
Now, obviously, the EDM type music and that is what kind of turned it off for me. Some of the other music, like I believe either the intro music and the closing credit music was well done. But other than that, I was kind of turned off by some of the music in the film. I know you guys kind of liked it, but
let's say I made my note here. There was this interesting, kind of ironic maybe score during this fist fight between the two guys.
Yes,
there was this classical music. It was almost funny, like. So I don't know how they meant it, but of course it was mixture of really fast and typical Yoko Kanno music, and then there was some parts like more classical, more calm and slow, and then there was this holograph, music inside of the movie, right? Like the music that was this holograph or AI singing.
Yeah, for the concert scenes, I think they probably couldn't get away from electronic trance sort of music because that was the feeling they were trying to express. And that's why the populants were kind of turning into mindless zombies. That or all the strobe lights, one of the two.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Rasto did ask us to warn the viewers about this flashing. Yes, if you're prone to seizures, you may want to steer away from this particular film.
Yeah,
it's a fair point.
But there was a lot of electronica, to Stu's point. That's true. But for viewers like myself who have seen both the film version and the television version, one interesting point is a different musical selection. The theme song from the television show wasn't used at all, maybe because of some rights issue or reasons unknown, but it's quite a peculiar artistic decision because I thought it was quite a good piece and it was used extensively throughout the 4-part miniseries.
Okay. Now, did you also notice some of the music was also Americanized and sort of had an 80s vibe to it, some sort of almost rap-like music?
It was, yeah. I noticed that. I think especially those AI songs, right? Like it was in Japanese language, but I could almost hear some English words there, it was really like some kind of synth pop or right, like
there were
those
songs in addition to Japanese in English and French as well, that kind of femme fatale, like film noir kind of score was in French, and then there was some made-up language. I think it was a made-up language that I don't know about at all.
Oh, okay. So it was just some kind of gibberish, right?
Or it could, or I don't know a lot of languages. Maybe it was Slovak. I'm not sure.
No, I didn't hear anything like that. Nothing similar to any kind of, Slavic language. I didn't hear anything like that. So who knows what was it?
Yeah, and the opening music was a little when he was using his hands to kind of pretend that he was flying. That was sort of. Isamu or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, that music really, it just dug, it's like nails on the chalkboard for me.
Was that a banjo? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, there was
guitar
in there and
kind of hayseed music.
Yeah. I don't think it fit the film very well. But
you're talking about when he was like doing that, using his hand to mimic the plane against the horizon, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, when he was doing those things with the fingers, I could always see Jack Black saying, "Read between the lines."
Oh boy. Maybe that's where he got this bit from. I don't know.
Maybe perhaps.
Oh man.
And
maybe this is more of a cultural touchstone than we thought it was.
Could be. Another thing that I was some thought I was toying with, my hypothesis. This holograph singer, her name was Sharon Apple, right? So I was thinking, like, isn't this Sharon Stone maybe the reference? Like, she was very popular and sexy back in '90s. Sharon Stone. She was a bunch of movies, very provocative movies. And we have some even some, let's call it, some animated nudity in this movie, right? So I was thinking, like,
warning to the viewers.
Not very creative if that's where they took the inspiration for her from.
Well, I kind of thought the Apple part, I thought that was a direct dig at Apple or something, like Apple, the computer company. That was the way. I could be wrong. I don't know. That was just what the thought that occurred to me.
It's hard to say.
You know what? Apple booming started in 2000s. Not in '95. So I don't think they would. For me, Sharon Stone is a clear reference.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. She was in a bunch of provocative movies back then.
Like Basic Instinct, yeah.
Basic Instinct, or
that's true. It was around that time too.
Another thing I want to ask Tyler about. Now, the animation style, did you notice that the characters all mostly had longer legs in proportion to their torsos?
Yes.
That's pretty common in anime, though.
They also had very pointy chins and noses.
Yes.
And
now,
noses.
Is that supposed to be a French reference, or is that just how they like to draw them at that particular point?
I wouldn't call myself an expert in anime. However, I do think that pointy noses and pointy chins sometimes appear, not to the same extent as huge eyes, however. It may just be a preference of the animators for this particular movie.
That could be, yeah.
All right.
Maybe each anime, artist is leaving some sort of signature, or so to speak.
There is a signature. These were, for the most part, hand-drawn animations. And personality in them, which perhaps is less easy to touch and to feel in modern day animations. I can also say that I enjoyed the animations, although there were some CG cut screens which were of variable quality. Some of them I didn't like very much at all. Some of them were okay.
Yeah.
Well, he certainly put a lot of detail into the anime. There's a lot of anime around that time that was rushed and looked not nearly as detailed or polished. This was fairly polished, but it also had a more adult look to it. You could tell he was really trying to make sure that it looked like it was meant for the adult audience rather than a younger audience.
Certainly, this is... There are adult themes in this movie. You probably wouldn't sit down with your young children to watch it on Saturday morning.
It's definitely more mature in content than the original Macross or Robotech was.
Yes. There are animated breasts, as pointed out earlier, perhaps as many as half a dozen. And
well, to be fair, the AI was featureless, so it was shapes rather than detailed breasts. But
who doesn't like right? Come on, guys.
Ross, are you killing me, man? First, you're talking about music, global music, and you're just dazzling me with your knowledge, and then you just come back to your base instincts.
Rasto has a lot of range as well. He's the Yoko Kanno of podcasts.
Oh no!
Oh boy! So we are. Just for the sake of fun, but we are slowly going to plot, right? I believe.
Yes.
We are touching the plot a little bit. So maybe like we said, for me, honestly, more like a sci-fi or some fantasy. This is more like a romance. There is some drama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even I have a feeling, and please tell me if I am wrong, but I have a feeling that this is that even all those technical stuff, all those the sci-fis and the techniques and the machines and everything, is kind of irrelevant in this movie. I think this is more of this personal drama of the main protagonist is Isamu Guld, Isamu Guld or Guld, and Myung.
That's right.
I think this is more like a drama or romance. Not even romance. I mean, this is like a really
it's
deep
a lot
dive
of action.
into psychology of this main character.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fair.
All that flashy stuff that can bring you some epilepsy. It's sort of like just like a background.
Right. Sure.
Right. Well, you know what? Since we're into the plot now, let us play the clip, and maybe Tyler can explain what's going on. This is actually from the TV series that was cut from the film.
Come on. Yes! Nani? 貴様何のあれだ! 私を殺す気か! 雑魚に手こずってるから城を取られるんだよ。もっとくたぶった！目で！うまくな！回して！足でまといと雑魚だけか。おお、ちったマシかな。期待外れだったぜ。もっとマシなやついねえのかよ。
Yes, that was quite the dogfight.
So it
quite a noise. Right?
Summary, lots of explosions, very little dialogue. I can speak to background a little bit, however. This appeared at the very beginning of the 4-part television series, and it just gives some background into Isamu as a maverick. He's at the borders of the galactic entity battling some renegade aliens or something like that. And he disregards every rule in the book during the battle. He gets called before the fleet commander eventually, has his assignment removed and sent to this backwater planet Eden to be a test pilot. Oh, that's the background there. Stripped from the movie, for better or for worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was interesting when I was pulling up clips for the podcast, and I'm looking at this. This was not in the film, so I decided to include that.
Yeah, it's kind of uncharacteristic as well. You might think of animated movies about giant robots having lots of battle scenes, but that's not the case. This was one of the only ones that was in the television series, and then it wasn't in the film version at all.
Okay, that's something that you think it was originally in the movie and then they cut it off or something, or it just
it definitely was not in the film. I do not remember this scene at all.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit of a tricky film because it relies on flashbacks a lot, and they want the pace to move at a certain clip as well.
Right.
And maybe they thought that like putting in different like scenes or venues and then flashing back here, there, and everywhere would have been a bit too much to follow. I think it worked for me, but some other viewers may have been confused about the flipping between venue and flashback in the film too.
Well, I was going to say, I think this series it's a different beast than the original Macross series because I should mention that the character we've been talking about, Guld Bowman, he's a member of the Zentradi race, and they were like the antagonists of the original Robotech or Macross series. It was of course called Robotech in the North American version, the North American adaptation. And that was more of a PG rated military hard science fiction with also an element of romance between three of the lead characters, like another love triangle, if you will. And I think it seems like they were trying to take a bit of a different road with this particular story. They were trying to make it a bit more mature, like something along the lines of like Ninja Scroll or I guess Cowboy Bebop, as you mentioned there, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
The original Macross series. I think, although I think they may have had to edit some stuff out for the American version, but it was like a long form, almost soap opera structured drama, like a military sci-fi drama. So this one's a bit of a different storytelling attempt. Like as you guys were discussing, with a bit more psychological exploration, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I think that the plot works on a couple of different levels, as mentioned earlier. But what's driving it at the very bottom for me is the character Myung. She's listed as a supporting character in our podcast notes. But I think her struggles with herself and the AI acting as an extension of her personality is really what drives the plot forward in this movie.
Right. Yeah, I would say that's fair. Yeah.
Inadvertent or advertent, the AI is always surveilling its creator to one extent, Myung, and then acting out on like these submerged impulses with sometimes unexpected effects or difficult to understand rationales.
Yeah. Well, if you look at Myung, she had all these unresolved issues, and all those unresolved issues basically became the unresolved issues of the AI, and it took it out on the rest of the populace, and particularly her, and also the rest of the, I guess you would say the flight crew. And
exactly, she wanted to be loved, right? So then the AI wants to be loved. She hates herself, so the AI traps her in a room, sets fire to it, and moves to one step away from killing her off before rescuing her at the last minute. Was this something it was doing for Myung, or was it doing it because it wanted to make the rescuer happier in this case? Like, the more I think about it, the more kind of complex it gets. Maybe the AI was scheming and schemed the whole plot. It's kind of an interesting perspective.
It's possible. Myung, even in before the scenes that the lab caught on fire, she was already sort of having a pity party for herself, saying, "Oh, I wish I was not here." And now, whether the AI took that literally or if it was just an excuse, I don't know. But
yeah, that's one theme in this movie regarding AI. AI taking things very literally, or taking logical goals to illogical, maximalist, extreme conclusions.
Right. I mean, from an AI perspective, you just need to achieve your goal. You don't really take into consideration what you have to do to get there. At least it doesn't seem like that was programmed into its model.
Well, this movie is a movie for AI haters. It's really taking it from every different angle, right? So first, it's a cheap trick that has no emotion and could only be controlled by humans. Then it's all about mind control of the population. It's an opiate for the masses. Then it's pervasive surveillance. Then it's just guiding killer robots, or this incomprehensible massive inputs and outputs that are making unfathomable, deadly decisions. And then, maybe worst of all, it's just inheriting all the worst traits and contradictions of human beings. It's not an optimistic take on artificial intelligence. which is one of the reasons I picked this movie. Actually, I find AI frustrating myself.
Oh, very, very frustrating. Now, maybe you or Ken can explain this to me, but why was the Macross consortium even attempting mind control and to mess with the population to begin with? Like, obviously, they were building this machine model to, take control of things, but what was their purpose? I don't think they ever did explain that. Was that something in the cartoons or the original TV series?
No, I don't recall any of that. I didn't watch the whole original. I haven't seen any of the original Macross, but I did watch some episodes of Robotech in my younger years, and I remember that just being a straight military space drama. I don't remember any AI plot angles of any sort. It was just basically the humans were trying to survive against the Zentradi, and the Zentradi race were not actually portrayed as totally evil. They were just trying to survive, I guess you would say. So, but I don't recall any, but I'm guessing maybe that since that conflict was resolved, they decided maybe to expand their frontiers, and AI was the way to do that. And it just went.
It is a little bit fuzzy, or perhaps a hole in the plots too. Now, the Sharon Apple was envisaged as like this omnipotent, omnipresent kind of Taylor Swift on steroids idol for the future.
It's good that you mentioned Taylor Swift.
And then in parallel, like this military industrial complex was working on like some other use cases for AI, which had like the same like development base, and somehow they kind of got wrapped up together with bad results. But it is not very well explained. Maybe they didn't have an explanation or thought it would take away from the thrust of the movie. But it's also not clear how it managed to turn all these, the entire populace into its unthinking zombies.
That's one thing.
Just ask Taylor Swift. I'm sure she has an idea.
Okay, so maybe you've explained it right there.
I think the one thing they didn't really predict is that everyone would have a personal communications device, and that they'd be recording every aspect of their own lives on a rectangle that fits in our pockets.
That's right.
That's the only thing they didn't really
take into account.
Yeah. But who could have back in 1995, really?
Well, it wasn't very far from reality, because today the AI is capable of picking up on your mental constitution. Like you can have a choleric AI, you can have phlegmatic AI, you can have angry AI. This AI algorithm is nowadays. It's capable of picking up on your general mood. Like you can have a asshole AI, you can have some gentle AI. Seriously. You're feeding the AI with your daily moods, or your psychological constitution. How you are. Yeah. And then your AI is becoming what you are, basically. So it's not very far. It's not far-fetched. This is kind of real. And I was actually surprised they picked up on this element back in '95. Like AI suddenly.
Well, we did have Terminator and other films.
No, okay. But I'm talking specifically about the AI kind of changing mood, like adapting to, because obviously Myung brainwired to this AI thing, and
he was training it.
AI was sort of this Sharon Apple, or it was sort of picking up on her or Myung's moods, right? Or her my mindset or her state. Like she was also fighting like between love and hate, and she's got this mood swings, and also this AI was sort of adapting and picking up on this. It seems like when there was this anger and frustration, then AI suddenly decided to take over completely, and just go for some sort of revenge. And she wanted to, because you remember, like, at one point, AI, or let's call her Sharon, she was going for Isamu. Like, I have to have him. And then suddenly she changed completely, and she wanted to. There was this scene, like, this huge robot. It wasn't moving, but obviously she was about to get it moved, right? I mean, so
have
this is what I'm trying to say.
have a real physical form that could
It had a real, yeah. She sort of, I guess, entered the processor or something.
Yeah, if Ken would know more about that giant floating robot's name. I think he's done the research.
Well, to the extent that I watched some episodes of the original, the Robotech series from the 80s, that giant robot, I'll explain that one a little bit. That giant robot is called the SDF-1, and which stands for Super Dimensional Fortress 1. And that was like sort of the main operations base for the human forces when they were fighting the Zentradi aliens in the original. And it was actually, I was kind of disappointed that it was used as more like a Death Star, basically, stand-in in this series, because in the original, I do remember some parts where it was almost a character in itself, really. It was a giant transforming space battleship, and it turned into that big robot form you're talking about, Rosto. But in the original series, it would do stuff like it would punch. I remember it punched through the hull of one of the Zentradi giant warships and implanted a bunch of nuclear bombs and blew it up with its fist.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Like it had a lot more active role in the original series than in here. All it did was it rose up out of the ground and fired a bunch of cannon volleys at Isamu and Guld as they were trying to, defeat the AI.
It was done dirty, Ken. It was done dirty.
I was disappointed. I mean, it seemed like they turned it into like a prop.
It was more like a threat, right?
It was a threat. Yeah, they changed it from a symbol of, I guess you would say hope and heroism if you want to get dramatic about it. It was almost a protagonist of the original series, and here it was just like a giant threat looming in the background, throwing up cannon fire, and then it disappears almost as quickly as it came on the scene.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That was something I didn't really care for.
Well, that was in part 2. Don't you know that, Ken?
Say again, sorry?
That was in part 2 of the film. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
It was near the ending, basically. And
yeah, in the giant the grand finale of the show. Yeah, I mean, I do have to say that I enjoyed the battle sequences. I mean, the battle sequences, like the Veritech robot, the transforming planes, I guess, if you will. In the original series, those sequences were pretty well staged and well done, but I think by the time they made this series, the animation had advanced to the point where they could get me a bit more flashy with the camera angles and the visual effects and stuff. So I thought that was it. I enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, according to my research, there is a sequence called the Legendary 5 Seconds, which involves, I think, Guld evading 29 homing missiles all at once.
Yeah.
And this is well known amongst animated fans. It passes like a flash for me. I have no idea what's going on. But if you look at it frame by frame, apparently it's very well done. And you'll be looking at a lot of frames because they jammed 116 into a couple of seconds.
I do remember. I do think I know what you're talking about. And, it took, I don't think that really registered with me until you brought it up. I didn't know it had that sort of status among anime fans, but it was visually very impressive. I agree with you there.
Oh, it certainly did.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention. Okay, go ahead, Rosto.
Yeah, sorry. Can you, is any one of you able to summarize basically what happened 7 years ago? There was I saw these flashbacks, but I still don't understand what actually happened. Like there was some abandonment or something, like they left her in some sort of daring situation, or what happened? Because
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, that was kind of a key point to the whole movie. So they used to be friends, the three of them. And there was Isamu and Guld and Myung.
Yeah.
And they were friends on this planet called Eden. And then they all went their separate ways. And why did they go their separate ways? Well, there was a fight, I guess, perhaps one-sided between Isamu and Guld over Myung.
Yes.
And then it was such a terrible fight that one or perhaps several of them repressed some of their memories of this and even changed their own memories to kind of put things into a different light. And I don't want to say too much more because it kind of gives away one of the points of watching the movie. Mm-hmm. But maybe that will clear it up a little bit for you, Rasto.
Those flashbacks are, it seems to me like it's never really finished. Like those flashbacks are something that viewer needs to figure out.
If you were inclined to watch the movie again, I could say that things become clear close to the end of the dogfight between Isamu and Guld, close to the end. There's like a flashback, which is the true flashback, which explains why everything happened and why Myung perhaps doesn't feel that she wants or needs any human closeness and kind of shies away from emotional contact.
And there was, we'll just give the audience a hint. There was some ripped clothes in the.
Yeah. And I remember those flashback sequences had a tinge of red to them. They were like the coloring, like it was like viewed through a red lens.
Red lens. Say. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I got it. Thanks. I understand now. Yeah.
All right, so maybe we'll just I'll touch on, or somebody or all of us will touch on some of the highlights of the plot. There was one or a couple comic relief moments. I think it was Myung was kind of getting angry, and then Isamu was saying, "Anger just brings out more freckles, dear."
Yeah, I remember that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was also a nice comic relief between the pilots and the engineer. He was kind of a funny character, actually, because he was always sort of a little bit on edge, and he was trying to keep the planes sort of in operation, but they kept sort of almost destroying them and abusing them, and
yeah.
And they just keep ignoring him and say, "Oh, don't worry about it." Kind of
but actually, in the finale, he sort of becomes sort of important. He becomes a
liability at the end.
A liability, yeah, as opposed to just the Nebushi background character.
He literally
becomes a threat.
Him out of the film.
Yeah, basically.
But that liability was more because it wasn't his fault necessarily. It was fault because of Sharon. So
yeah.
Also, I thought another interesting point was the bio-neural chips. Now, apparently, these chips were already illegal at that point in the film, and they wanted to put these into humans, and I guess probably the alien population as well, as Ken was mentioning.
The Zentradi, yeah.
Zentradi. And so for them to be illegal, I thought that was interesting that maybe it's been 20, 30, or 40 years already since they already had this technology developed and they were just being held back. So that lines up pretty well with our timeline, I think, as it is today.
Interesting point.
And there's also the scene with the colonel who, he's shutting down the program, and when the fighter plane is stolen, he's like, "Well, I used to steal a lot of planes myself, and I have to cover now." So, those are some of the interesting things for me anyways. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
I thought the cockpit scenes were well done. There's a lot of fetishizing of kind of Top Gun stuff. The animators perhaps are frustrated wannabe pilots. They were good. I thought the animations were in some part nicely textured, like just little things. The butt of a gun banging against a door, and there's a little bit more damage each time it bangs. One last bit I'll mention is one bit that made me squirm, which is close to the end of a movie. A head kind of imploding bit by bit under 1,000 Gs of force. It was well done or not well done, I don't know, but it was impactful at the very least.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Near one of the main characters.
Pretty gory.
Yeah. I noticed that. Yeah.
There was some gore, not a lot, but the scenes that did do gore, it was...
It made you take notice for sure. Certain.
I said I had my last bit up, but I'll put one more in. A part I liked and hated at the same time was giant robots battling in the city. It brought me back to the video game days of the 1980s. There was a game called Rampage where like
I remember
Kong and Godzilla were climbing up towers and kind of blowing things up. It was like that. Who wouldn't want to see giant robots like fighting in a city of skyscrapers? But it kind of destroyed the realism a little bit as well. It took me out of the flow of the movie. So
you wouldn't really see that. No two pilots who are established and distinguished pilots are going to go and fight in the middle of a city and destroy buildings, and who knows what kind of carnage and death they caused in that.
Indeed, it was awful, but it was cool too.
I think that they threw that in there just to sort of break up the plot a bit.
I think so.
To put a bit more action in, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, and raise the stakes, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add, Ross? Still?
Well, I was enjoying the Sharon, her, towards the end of the movie when she was trying to hypnotize the other guy. I think that was she was trying to hypnotize actually the hacker or this IT guy. I mean, that Stu was talking about. What's his name? Yang. Okay, she was trying to kind of hypnotize or brainwash him or something, and he was fighting. And I mean, not only that, I mean the whole scene with Sharon fighting for her existence basically was pretty impressive. And I mean the whole, not only that scene, but also the whole concept of Sharon plus breast, of course. I mean.
Of course.
Going back to basics, right?
So
it was pretty impressive.
Is that why you've been quiet the whole podcast? Because you've been thinking about it?
Oh boy.
So yeah, that was my favorite parts of the movie, and but also I disliked actually when Isamu and Guld were fighting, and they destroyed lots of buildings, and they basically buildings are smashed, and all kinds of shooting right in the middle of the city, like. I was asking myself, where's some kind of police force? Or why the hell? I mean, that was like
it's
normal civilized society where you cannot just going around and shooting stuff, right? I mean, what the heck? I mean, I understand they are like high-ranking pilots who are very important for new experimental jets or some spacecrafts, but they still cannot do whatever they want, right?
Yeah, there should have been a constable leaping out and handcuffing their robots.
Yeah, exactly.
Very realistic.
No law and order. That was kind of weird.
Well, that's when the police force comes with their giant their giant robots, and then there's a big battle between them.
Well, there was another anime called Pat Labor, which also had these were giant police robots, basically, and maybe they could have had a crossover. I don't know.
Nice.
Okay.
Because the robots were called patrol labors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know we're this far to the podcast, but Tyler, what is the actual Japanese term for these hybrid pilot, or not called Gundam or whatever, but
that's a different series.
That's a series, but what's the actual term that would be considered a hybrid between a transformer and a jet plane and
I think the term I always heard was mecha.
Yeah,
Mecha?
They use mecha, or they refer to the Kishu, the type of the aircraft, like YF-19 or YF-21.
Right.
In this series, I think mecha was used.
Okay. Well, that's just pretty much what I've always seen, like in video games and other movies, just like games like Mech Warrior, but they don't fly. Right. They just walk on the ground. But
yeah.
Okay, so mecha.
That was a term I always heard used, like the sort of Americanized anime community term.
Okay. All right, cool. So we'll move on to I guess there's the cast performance, but it's hard to really rate the cast because they're all just voiceovers. But
well, I mean, yeah, you get like in the clip you played, you get those very sort of barely repressed fury of the combatants and that sort of thing, like, oh, we're about to do this and then we're going to do that. How was that? Was that good?
I do have one question, though. That was kind of going back to plot for a second here. Now, these two were high school buddies and they knew each other, but why did Guld look a lot older?
He has a unhealthy looking skin color, eh?
But he seemed to have a lot more wrinkles and portrayed to be like 20 years his senior.
So it may be something tied to the background of this whole series, which is Guld isn't actually human.
Yeah.
He is of some alien race called the Zentradi, a warrior race. And they're a little bit physically different. Maybe they age in a little bit of a different way as well, or they just have different features.
Well, that's the other thing. In the original series, the Zentradi were like giants compared to actual humans. I'm not sure. I haven't watched the whole series timeline, so I'm not sure how the Zentradi got shorter or closer to, because Guld was actually pretty tall, but still closer to human size than the original Zentradi were in the original Macross or Robotech series were.
So the Zentradi, now there was one flashback in the film where he looked more human-like his skin color was more, I guess, pinkish. But then by the time he was older, it's apparent that his skin color was, I don't know what you want to call it, bluish, but...
Yeah, it was a bit greenish in the original show.
Greenish, okay.
Yeah.
My thought about this is that Guld was actually subject to some sort of experiment with linking his brain or his nervous system directly into that jet he was flying, right? So maybe he was warned off.
Yeah.
Maybe he was kind of like it sucks off his energy. That's why he looked much older.
Maybe
because Isamu is like almost like they might have like 25 years, right? Because it's seven years after high school.
Yes,
right. So they might. So then this, on the other hand, this Myung, he used himself for this experiment with this neural system linking into that's why he could change the shape so quickly. So basically when you do something like this, I believe you are worn off, you are kind of sick, and hence the grayish complexion,
okay.
Maybe, yeah.
The colonel did say that half of the controls for this aircraft are in your mind, so perhaps there's something to that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that whole thing actually kind of makes me wonder if this film also inspired Pacific Rim, which was directed by Guillermo del Toro back in 2014, I think it was.
Good thought.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they were actually fighting with they were they switched with the brain, basically, like with the thinking, or
right. They call it that bridge, that neural bridge, I think they called it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that sort of inspired that this film sort of inspired that film in that way.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
See,
everything is just a rip-off of something else. So this film ripped off elements from other elements, and other films ripped off from this film. So
yeah,
but it seems to have provided so much material for people to rip off in various.
Yeah.
Okay. You can be ripping like crazy. Yeah, there is lots of stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I'll just say one thing about the acting ability. They're very passionate in their roles, so congrats to that.
Yeah, I think the voice actor for Myung in particular had to cover a couple of different bases. I think she did a good job.
Yes.
Indeed. Yeah, for sure. And as for the animation, I was really enjoying it was really nicely done. The mood changes, you could see from the expression of the face.
Yeah.
You could read to the mind of the character pretty easily. So that was nicely done. Otherwise, not much to say. I mean, the voiceovers are, okay.
There were some good camera angles in the animation. They changed it up a bit, which is refreshing. And there were lots of dark scenes as well. So there were lots of nice contrasts. I think the animators probably had fun making this.
Fun until their fingers started to bleed.
Yeah, that's that.
Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but sometimes when Sharon, when they showed her point of view, you could see like everything was suddenly red, right?
That's right.
Like, and I kind of wonder they never developed this particular phenomena that she could see everything in red. Like so like the Terminator, like Terminator also kind of saw everything red, right? Like some sort of like objects, like measurements, and you could see the boots and the the sizes of the clothing and everything else.
The pool hall scene.
Yeah. So it's kind of, maybe it's kind of pity they didn't go a little bit deeper. It would be more funny, like she could see like oh, this guy likes me. Oh, this guy doesn't like me, and something like that, like maybe they could develop this a little bit more.
Yeah, a lot could have been done with Sharon Apple. It still makes me think, like, motivations for Sharon Apple. What were they? What was she trying to accomplish? Sometimes it's contradictory. Maybe I just didn't think about it enough.
Yeah, I think there was kind of Orwellian kind of brainwashing slash Orwellian society, where everything was it was like everyone was kind of brainwashed, and just so they become obedient citizens. And this Sharon maybe something like K-pop, like K-pop. K-pop is it's not only about
evil.
It's not only about the music, K-pop. It's about the lifestyle. It's about the they are almost like some saints. There is no way like K-pop can.
The next Messiah in a way, right? Cultural like Messiah.
Interesting. Yeah, like they cannot really date girls, or K-pop girls cannot date boys, and they have to be like in some sort of celibacy, and to be available for everyone, So maybe I see this concept.
Interesting point.
In Sharon, like Sharon is for everyone. She's like
she is an idol. You're right.
She's idol, and she brings the salvation. And
well, we have
you could see those blank faces, like even though they weren't there wasn't much movement. I mean, those pictures have been still. They didn't move, right? But still, you could see the blank faces.
Yeah, there's perhaps the producers are trying to say something there. Like the idol is kind of vacuuming out like feeling or emotion or some vitality from the people that are opinion.
Well, this kind of brainwashing has been around for a very long time in popular culture. I mean, from music to movies, like everything. It's just everywhere. It's been around since I've been a little guy. And
this is true, but now it's AI brainwashing. We're brainwashing ourselves. We're allowing ourselves to be brainwashed.
That's right.
It's quite different. Yeah.
Well,
so we can go to effects, maybe.
Sure. I don't have much to say. You guys go ahead.
I think we covered a lot of that already. I mean, just in terms of the, as you were saying, Tyler, some of the computer animation is a bit, it's a varying quality. And I think sort of Ghost in the Shell was one of the first, the original anime of Ghost in the Shell was one of the first anime films to sort of integrate computer generated
animation. That was
animation.
also 1995.
That's correct. Yeah. And so I guess the Ghost in the Shell in this film, they probably sort of paved the way for more integration of computer animation into the traditional Japanese anime hand-drawn style.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to say that representing a concert in an animation and trying to capture the feeling is pretty ambitious.
Yeah.
In parts, they were probably not quite hitting the mark, but I found that like an underwater scene with a kaleidoscope and some heavy distort music with strobes does kind of get me in a concert mood. I'm not saying that I like it, but it
has an effect. Yeah,
it did have an effect.
Yeah, it was nicely done for sure. I mean, considering it's a hand drawn,
right?
It's quite a work behind it, and but I think it's a mixture. Like some parts were computer generated drawing. And some parts have been with the hands. I think they play with the hands more about the like characters, like faces, you know. Then of course, like I said, many scenes they were like still. They didn't move at all. So.
Well, I think that's pretty. Are you talking about the background characters, Rosto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually fairly common in anime. You'll find that a lot in certain like large crowd scenes in anime. Like even before this one was released, I guess it's like I think as Tyler was saying, it's kind of a cost saving measure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the background characters will be a bit more static.
Right.
Oh, okay. So it's not unusual, right?
No.
All right. Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
Now going back to Ghost in a Shell for a second, I do have the 2017 Blu-ray on my shelf. Now, have you seen that?
You mean the one with Scarlett Johansson?
Yes.
I did watch it once, yeah.
Now could you make comparisons between that and what's going on here at all?
You mean between the 2017 Ghost in the Shell and this film, Macross Plus?
Right, or even the original from the 90s and
with the original Ghost in the Shell, because from what I remember, the live action film was more or less a straight adaptation of the original anime with maybe a few changes here and there. But, well, I think Ghost in the Shell was a bit more, it was sort of going into the same themes of AI and stuff like that, but it was a bit more of a, suspense or intrigue, like a spy story in feel to me than this one, which is like, I would say if you wanted to draw parallels, I guess you would say Ghost in the Shell was more like a maybe the sort of tone of a Jason Bourne film as opposed to a Top Gun.
Okay.
You could certainly make comparisons in terms of setting, which is a near future tech dystopia. In fact, that's a common setting for a lot of different animated films. You could cite Akira or Ghost in the Shell or this movie or even Cowboy Bebop. They're all kind of the same in that perspective.
But I think Ghost in the Shell was more of a ground level, grimy, suspense thriller than Macross Plus is.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll have to rewatch that because I completely forgot everything about it. But
do you mean the original anime or
the live action?
Yeah, somehow Ghost in the Shell seems low level, and Macross Plus would be high level, kind of low fantasy, high fantasy kind of comparison.
Yeah, I think Cyberpunk would be more of a descriptor for Ghost in the Shell, and
sure,
yeah, like I think Macross Plus is a bit more broad scale, action. Well, I mean, not just totally an action story, but it's a lot more kinetic in its action scenes than Ghost in the Shell. I mean, Ghost in the Shell moves pretty quickly too, but it's more, hand to hand or close quarters combat oriented than Macross Plus is, I would say.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Ken.
I don't know if it made a sense, but sure.
It made a lot of sense, Ken. Thank you.
Yes,
all right, sure.
Yes, that's exactly what we needed. And I think, should we move? I think we can move on now to the finale, right?
The scoring?
Yeah.
Our scores? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
All right.
We'll let Rosto go first.
Okay, I can do that. So, I mean, like I said, I never seen the TV. I mean, the TV show. I mean, the series. I never seen any of the episodes. But on the other hand, considering that I'm not a big fan of anime, but I still was enjoying this. Okay, I'm not going to systematically look for anime and watch it, but I mean, in this occasion, like we do this special podcast once a year, I can do that, so it's fine, and so considering this, as for the style directing and especially the score, which I was really enjoying, I would give it 8 out of 10. As for the plot, maybe not knowing anything about this show, it was a little bit less attractive for me, I would say. But still, it was nice romance and some sort of drama. So 7 out of 10. The special effects, cast. I mean, cast. I would maybe even skip this category, but nevertheless, I'm gonna give it 7 out of 10. And the special effect 8 out of 10. I was some parts, and especially now that you explained to me that it's pretty normal that background people, as a costing measure, or like to make it cheaper, I guess they're not moving, and it's common approach. So then 8 out of 10. So my overall score is 7.5 out of 10, which basically I'm giving the same score like IMDb. Well, not for myself, but I'm talking about viewers who like to watch this kind of genre. I think it's mostly Unsung, and it's something you should certainly watch.
Okay.
So that's my take. So I was completely unbiased, considering that I am not really big fan of anime, but still, it's piece of art. So I'm taking this kind of approach. I'm not gonna smash it just because I don't like it.
Okay, thank you for that, Rosto. I think I'm gonna jump in next simply because in case Tyler or Ken wants to counter my rating here. Now, I did find with the film there is always one constant, and that there's always conflict in the universe, and it usually happens when a woman is involved, and we have an AI woman here and an AI. So
you misanthrope.
Oh man!
And some of the negative things I found about the film were obviously some of the music, and I found it a bit too long, and it sort of dragged on for me in some parts, and some of the elements weren't explained in the plot. So with that summary said, I'm going to give in the style, directing, and theatrical score, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. For the plot, I'm going to actually rate it lower because there's a lot of copying going on in the film. And even though the AI element was super interesting and super well thought out, it wasn't enough to make the plot super enjoyable for me. So I'm going to give the plot a 5.5. The cast, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because they were excellent. And same with the special effects. Theatrically, it was a work of art. I'm going to give it a 7. So that'll knock the rating down to about a 6.5 out of 10. And I think my unsung rating is going to be, some of the singing should not be sung. Just some of it, not all of it. So I think there's a place for this film and on people to watch it. However, maybe it's not quite for everybody. That's for sure.
So
okay, I was expecting that maybe you would give it a little bit of more rating, but you explained yourself, so that's I guess that's a fair point.
Yeah,
the other hand, I kind of thought you are more into it, so
the first time I watched it, I think I stopped the film 10 minutes before it was over, and the second time I definitely watched through it more, but I kind of skipped through sections that were kind of dragging on for me because I already knew what happened, and so yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, I'm not a huge anime fan, but certain animes I'm a fan of, and I'll say for this one it was just fairly average for me. So,
all right,
shall I go and we'll let Tyler have the final word?
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay. I'm just gonna score it a little bit less than you, Stuart. Actually, I think probably because I have prior experience with the Macross episodes as when they were presented as Robotech in the North American market. This is a different kind of a story than I was accustomed to with the first Robotech series. So for style, directing, theatrical, I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. Plot and story, I will give 6 out of 10. Like, I do agree with you guys that it does seem predictive of some elements of AI use and also story elements that we've seen in later works. So that was kind of interesting to compare it against. For cast and acting, it didn't really do as much for me as it did for you guys. I thought it was just sort of average, really. It didn't really seem to deviate from what it didn't really seem to stand out from other anime. Let's say for comparison, when we watched Grave of the Fireflies, I thought the voice acting in that was a lot better. It was a lot better done, but that was a bit more real. That was a bit more realistic and hard hitting film and emotional. I would say Grave of the Fireflies had a lot more emotion to it than this film does. Sure. But it's an apples and oranges comparison, I guess. But yeah, the voice acting in this one seemed, the standard, exaggerated repressed fury. During the action, what I mean?
Or repressed exaggerated fury.
Or that, yeah. So that didn't really impress me as much. For visual effects and the animation, I give that a 7 out of 10 because I thought for the most part was pretty well done, especially as you mentioned, Tyler, those legendary 5 seconds. That was an eye-catching bit of animation for sure. So my final score is going to be 6 out of 10. I wanted more action out of the SDF one though. I didn't like the way they turned it into just a Death Star. Like I say, it was a different kind of a story than the original Robotech, which is a sweeping, hard science fiction military drama. That was a bit more relatable for me than this one. But I do give them credit for trying something different, though.
Okay,
it's worth watching once, so I'll give it a mostly unsung rating.
Okay, cool. All right, we're up to Tyler. So are you going to give it a glowing review or going to trash it or you're somewhere in between?
Wait and see. So style directing and theatrical score. I will give this a 9. Like Rasto, I really like the score, and I was a fan of the directing as well. Plot story score, I'll give it 8. There were a few holes, but nonetheless, it was enjoyable on several levels. Cast and acting score, difficult to mark, but I'll give it a neutral score of 5. Special effects, 7. Overall rating, 8.
All right.
And why do I give it an 8? I feel this movie was ahead of its time. And it made me think, and then it made me think some more. And I like it when movies do that. And I'm still thinking about it, in fact. So I think the audience might want to consider this movie. And if they're singing it, they could sing it to themselves or maybe to their friends.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Nice. Right. Now, I believe at the start of the podcast, someone had mentioned that they wanted to add something at the end. What was that?
Yeah. I was just saying it's 2025. It's been a pretty rough year for losing figures in the film industry, actors and otherwise. I just wanted to maybe throw in that maybe we should try and think good thoughts for all the ones who were lost along the way this past year.
Yes, for sure. We were losing quite a few of the pioneers of I guess the 50s and 60s and
or even the 70s and 80s. Yeah.
So, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, Ken. That'll wrap up this podcast. Thank you, Tyler, for coming on and bringing us your pick.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, for sure. Thank you to the audience for listening. And this is a bit of a longer episode. We're getting up there. So we'll see you in the next Off the Record. And
thanks, everyone.
You have a good New Year's if this gets out by New Year's. If not, then have a good New Year's.
Yeah.
We insist. We insist, yeah.
we insist.
Take care.
Take care.
The Unsung Cinematics podcast is produced by Rostislav Miklos and Stuart Rathje. The statements in this podcast are the opinions of the hosts and not necessarily a true statement or literal fact. You can find us on Substack at unsungcinematics.substack.com or listen to us on your favorite podcasting app. Copyright 2025.
There's occasional weirdnesses. I recall one of our neighbors like banging furiously on our door saying,
"Oh yeah,
I saw something in the field. There's a bird with big red eyes."
Bird with big red eyes.
Like, okay, we'll go check it out, and we'll believe you enough to see the situation. And we went over, and sure enough, the cows were running around the field, and behind them, there was an emu.
An emu.
Just tearing up the dirt, and it did have big red eyes, and we wondered, how did an emu get into our field? We were 12,000 kilometers away from Australia.
Okay, that's...
But it turned out that one of the neighbors was secretly raising and breeding emus, and they had escaped. So,
okay, I never heard that one.
Well,